Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. So today we're filming this video on my bed because I'm still sick and I just want to be comfortable while I film this, to be honest. We're going to be decluttering all of my eyeshadow palettes. They are all in front of me. You can't see all of them obviously because of the camera position, but I will show you them all. I have, God, there must be like about 40 palettes here, I don't know. But I want to try and downsize that a bit. So we're just going to go through everything. I'm just going to tell you if I want to keep it or not. I feel like there are definitely palettes that I like immediately see and I'm like, do I really want that? Probably not. But some of them I feel like it's going to be a bit more difficult. And like I have done in previous videos, there might be a few palettes where I'm not really 100% sure. So I might just put them aside and then like give them like one more try. And then like decide if I do want to keep them or not, because I've done that with some like foundations and powders, and I've been going through some of them already, and some I've like already decided like there's like the majority of the setting powders that I felt like I needed to retry. I've actually just retried them and actually discovered that I did actually quite like them and kept them, so that may happen again here. Okay, let's get started. I don't know how I'm doing this. They're literally just all over the place in front of me, so I'm just going to grab things at random, probably. So yeah, I'm literally just going to grab things at random here. First palette, this is W7 Romanced Neutrals in Love palette. I think I'm going to declutter this one. I mean, it is just sort of... So it's kind of like a nude glam palette, but I feel like I have nude glam palettes that I just like so much more than this. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, like... I did get a few nice looks of it, but I just feel like there are better quality neutral palettes out there, so I am going to declutter that one. Okay, so this is definitely one of these palettes that falls in the category of I feel like I need to retry this before I decide if I want to keep it or not. It's from Certify, it's the Affinity 2 palette, and I brought it because it was very predominantly green, and I do love me some green. And I feel like I had problems with like patchiness with this, but the time when I brought this and when I was using it the most was before I kind of realised that eyeshadows perform way better over a wet base as opposed to a set base, because usually I would, because before I'd put like some concealer as an eye base and then I'd set it with powder, whereas now I just put the concealer on. And I haven't really tried this palette, I've not tried this palette with a wet base yet, so I feel like I might get a better performance with a wet base. So I feel like that's something I need to try out. So I am going to keep that one for now, and then I will decide if the quality is good. I've got a palette from Sleek. This is the Major Morphosis palette. It's a decent palette. I wouldn't say it's something I'm particularly drawn to. Like, the colour story is like kind of interesting. It's got quite a lot of shimmers in it. It's okay quality, but again, I feel like I have eyeshadow palettes that are slightly better quality, and I think I am probably gonna declutter this one. Some of the shimmers are quite nice, I will say. Others are a bit meh. I think I might declutter that one though. Urban Decay Full Spectrum. I got this like 4 or 5 years ago, and I've not used it in a really long time. It's quite a rainbow palette. Again, I feel like this is one of the ones where I feel like I need to kind of retry it because I don't really remember that much about how good it was. I feel like it was good from my vague memory, but I am definitely going to hold on to this, so that's staying, but I do feel like I need to retry it pretty soon. Rude Cosmetics, the Roaring Twenties Reckless palette. I tried this pretty recently, and I really love this. This is such a good palette. I feel like once I'm off my no-buy year, I feel like next year, once I'm not in the no-buy anymore, I might check out some more palettes from Rude Cosmetics because the quality of this is so good. And I do quite like the colour story. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit of a random colour story, but I feel like you can definitely get cohesive looks with it. So yeah, that's definitely staying. I've got a few of these chocolate bar palettes from Revolution. No, actually, I've just got 2. I've got the I Heart Revolution Turkish Delight and the Rainbow Sprinkles one, and I feel like I might declutter both of these. Mainly because there's a lot of like sort of pressed glitters in this palette. This is the Turkish Delight one, and I don't really use pressed glitters. They're not really my favourite format of glitter or eyeshadow. I don't see myself reaching for this palette a lot. The Rainbow Sprinkles one, I'm pretty sure I used this in a Shop My Stash like late last year. And I got a decent result, but the thing that bothers me about this palette is like almost every shade is a shimmer is a shimmer. And some of the shimmers are quite nice, others are a bit meh, but I feel like it's difficult to get a cohesive look with this because it is literally pretty much all shimmers. So yeah, I think I might declutter that one. I'm going to declutter both of those. I will of course see if anybody I know wants any of the palettes that I'm getting rid of, because a lot of them I do think are like decent palettes. It's just I've got so many that I'm being a bit picky. This one I tried last year, it's from Kimchi. It's the 2 Queens in 1 Desert palette, and I really enjoyed this. It was one of my favourite palettes from last year. It's quite a rainbow palette with a few neutrals in it. It's really good quality. The mattes are amazing, including the more sort of neon ones. They work really good, they're so vibrant. I really like this palette, so it's not going anywhere. I have the Huda Beauty Coral Obsessions. This is a little mini one. I got this as a birthday present from my sister. Not this year, because my birthday is in January, so it was not the one that's just been, the one before that one. My 24th birthday, not my 25th. It's a cute little palette. It's kind of like quite warm toned, quite fiery. It's not something that I'm going to use loads, but then I can say that kind of about all of these palettes because there's so many of them. It is pretty good quality. The shimmers are quite nice. The mattes blend really nicely. It's really cute and diddy, and it was a present, so I can't get rid of it if it's a present, can I? So I'm going to keep that. This is from the Body Shop. This is their Bold as Nature eyeshadow palette. I think this was a limited edition thing. I'm not sure if you can get it anymore. I did actually quite like this though. It is very like neutral glam, but some of the shimmers in here are actually super pretty. Like the silver is, oh, lovely. It's actually like a quite good quality palette, to be honest. But those shimmers are stunning. I think I'm actually going to hold on to this because even though it is like a little bit limited with what you can do, it is a really good quality neutral palette with some really pretty shimmers and very blendable mattes, so... Oh no, I'm breaking it. No, don't. I've got a really bad habit of breaking eyeshadow palettes. I'm going to keep that one because I would use it. So this one I didn't want to get rid of, but I feel like I have to because, like I just said, bad habit of breaking eyeshadow palettes. I actually broke this kind of recently, which is a shame because I probably would have kept this because I do quite like it. It's the Sofix Revolution, her like first palette that she had with them. I'm going to have to declutter it because it's just going to be a nightmare to store because it's broken. Yeah, I can't really keep it like this. I don't know, I might in the future buy one of her other palettes, her more newer ones. But not this year obviously, but I'm going to have to declutter that because I can't store it properly. I have a palette from Beauty Glaze. This is the Strelitzia Textured Shadows palette. I got this off of Amazon a very long time ago, but it is actually a really good quality eyeshadow palette. Like the mattes are like so pigmented and blendable, and there's some really pretty shimmers in here too. Oh yeah, some of these shimmers are gorgeous. Look at that green. I really like this palette and it was super cheap off of Amazon, and I'm gonna keep it. This is another I Heart Revolution palette. This is the Tasty Avocado Shadow palette, which is a very green, heavy palette. I'm trying to remember if I liked this or not. I feel like I did like it. I do like that green shimmer. That's a pretty green shimmer. I do like that green. That is quite pretty. Again, I feel like this is another palette where I feel like I need to play around with it a little bit more before I decide. But I am going to keep it for now. Mainly because I did get rid of all the other I Heart Revolution ones. I feel like I should keep one of them. I've got the Maybelline Nudes of New York's palette, and I kind of don't want to throw this away because I actually spent a lot of money on it because it wasn't in the, it hadn't been released in the UK when I bought it, so I got it off a website where it was definitely more expensive than it should have been. It's a decent palette. It's probably not my favourite neutral palette, but it is decent. I think I will hold on to that for now. BH Cosmetics Zodiac Love Signs palette. This one here, I really like this one. The packaging is absolutely massive. Saying that, I do quite like the layout. I like that you've kind of got all of these, like the mattes in the middle and the shimmers on the outside. I really like this palette. The shimmers are lovely, the mattes are lovely. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep that one. I think I got that one as a present, you know, as well, like a couple years ago. This is probably one of the oldest palettes I still have. It's from Revolution. It's the Neutrals versus Neutrals palette, and I feel like I have a lot of nostalgia associated with this palette. It's also just a really good quality Neutrals palette, and I have hit pan on quite a few of the shades in there, which says something. I'm definitely keeping this one just because nostalgia. It's actually really good quality. I believe they still do make it as well, and it is very affordable, so I'm gonna keep that. Even though it's very old, but it's eyeshadow, does it really matter? Kaleidoscopic Dreams, Tiffany X Illuminati from Makeup Obsession. I tried this last year. It's quite a rainbow palette, and I did really like it. I'm pretty sure I included it as a favourite. The mattes are really good. Shimmers, some of the shimmers are really nice, others are a bit meh, but overall I still feel like it's a really good palette, so I'm keeping it. We've got the Morphe 35M, which looks like this. I really like the quality of these shadows. I feel like it's very similar to... The colour story is very similar to this other Sample Beauty palette I've got, the Equalizer Volume 2. Like, I feel like they've got quite a similar colour story. I'm keeping both of these. I've just picked this one up, so might as well make my decision on this one too, and I'm definitely keeping this. This was another one of my favourites from last year. Both of those are staying. Juvia's Place, the Warrior 3, which is this one. This one's got matte rainbow shades in, and then it's got like two shimmers. The shimmers are a bit random. One's like a bright blue and one's like a grey silver sort of colour. They are both super pretty shimmers though, and the mattes are super pigmented, it's super blendable. Really good for like a rainbow look. Ooh, those shimmers are nice. Really like this palette, so I'm holding on to that, definitely. I've got the MAC Art Library in Flamboyant. This is another one where the lid is a little bit broken, but it's okay. It's a nice neutral palette, it's pretty good quality. I believe I got this as a present as well, so I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to do all of my Gosh palettes. I have 3. I've got To Be Cool in Copenhagen, which is a smoky, dark, all matte palette. I've got To Party in London, which is the opposite. It's basically an all... Oh wait, is that a matte or a shimmer? It's pretty much all shimmers. Not really sure how I would describe this colour story. And then I've got To Rock Down Under, which is all matte with one shimmer, and it's quite a warm toned palette. I like all of these. I really like my little Gosh palettes. I do think they're pretty good quality and they're cute. This is a really good like smoky eye palette. The shimmers in the To Party in London one are really pigmented. And this one is a really good like warm smoky palette. I'm keeping all of them because I like this little collection, and I do just like the quality of them generally. Another Juvia's Place one. This is the Warrior 2. What's the other one? So this is the Warrior 3, and this is the Warrior 2. This one is an all matte neutral palette. They're really good quality. I really like it. I just feel like it's an essential thing you kind of need. And this shade here also kind of works as like a contour on me, which is cool. This is a really good quality matte palette with massive pans as well. Definitely keeping that. This is from Revolution Pro. This is the new Neutral Romance palette. Again, it does have a few sort of pressed glitters in, which aren't my favourite. I do overall quite like the colour story, and I do think some of the mattes are like pretty decent. I don't know. I don't know if I would reach for this palette that much. I do feel a bit bad because, again, I think this one was a present, but I've kept pretty much all the other ones that were presents, so you can't be too insulted, okay? I think I am going to declutter that one. We've got the e.l.f. 18 Hit Wonders eyeshadow palette. I do really like the quality of this one. There's some really pretty shimmers in here. The mattes work really nicely. I did use it recently in my One Brand e.l.f. video, and I'm going to keep it. Got the Zoe Weaver Cocoa Blend palette. See, I feel like the shimmers aren't that... I don't know, that one's quite nice actually, saying that. Ooh, I changed my mind. That red coppery shimmer. Can you see that? This one here. Don't know if you can see that. That's quite nice actually. This is like a okay palette. See, part of me wants to keep it because I'm going to do an A to Z makeup series next year, and Z is an awkward one, but obviously Zoe Weaver covers it. But then saying that, I could just buy a different palette from Zoe Weaver that I like the look of the colour story more. I think I might declutter that one because, as you've already seen, I have kept a lot of neutral palettes, and I feel like they're the ones I've kept are a bit more versatile, I think. And I can always just buy a different palette from Zoe Weaver for that series anyway. NYX Ultimate Utopia. I love this palette. I know NYX has come out with another palette that's in this sort of style, like the massive sort of rectangle, which is kind of neutral, and I really like the look of that, and once I'm not on a no-buy anymore, I definitely want to buy it. But I absolutely love this palette. It's one of my favourites in my collection. Great shimmers, great mattes. I love the colour story. I like that you've got warm and cool tones. Absolutely love that. That's not going anywhere. I've got XX Revolution palette, which has like velvety packaging, which is cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of the texture of velvet. But this is a really good quality palette. I was very impressed with the quality. You've also got your matte black, you've got your matte white. You've got some really pretty shimmers. Ooh, that one's lush. Ooh, that shimmer's like sparkly. Ooh, lovely. And of course, like I said about the A to Z makeup series, XX Revolution. XX Revolution is the only brand I can think of so far for X, but I will do some more research. But I do just generally really like this palette anyway. It's a really good neutral palette. So I'm keeping that one. The Tammy X Revolution palette. This is the Tropical Paradise palette. I did used to really like this one, but I am sort of debating now if I want to keep it. I'm going to come back to it. I can't decide at the moment. We've got the Patricia Bright from Revolution palette. This is the Rich in Colour one. I think there's two ones she came out with. This is the Rich in Colour one. I think it's the more rainbow one. I can't open it. Again, I think I messed up. Again, it's a little bit broken. I did really enjoy this palette. I thought it was pretty good quality. Again, there's like two pressed glitters in here, which I don't really use. But other than that, I felt like the mattes are really good. Some of the shimmers are a bit like mushy, which the super mushy eyeshadow texture isn't my favourite. Part of me's debating now, just because of the fact that I've broken the lid a little bit, and also because it's only really the mattes in this that I like. You know what, I'm going to come back to that one as well. I can't decide right now. I'm definitely going to keep this one, mainly because it was very expensive. Be Perfect Carnival XL Pro palette. It's massive, it's got everything you could possibly want in it. It's got really nice neutrals, it's got really nice brights. It's just a lovely palette. And see, the time when I was first using this again was when I hadn't discovered that wet bases make eyeshadow perform better. So I feel like trying this again with a wet base, I'm probably going to get even better results. So yes, I'm definitely keeping this. It's so big. Ah, I forgot it also comes with a massive mirror too. I've got a palette from Technic. This is their IB for Pressed Pigments palette. I didn't really expect much from this because it's Technic and they are a very cheap brand, and the quality is sort of like hit and miss with Technic. So some of their products are really good, some are just kind of rubbish, but the mattes on this were actually really good. The shimmers in this palette I don't like, but there's only like about 4, maybe 5 shimmers in here. But the actual mattes, which is the majority of the palette, are actually really good quality and very pigmented and very blendable. So you know what, I am gonna hold on to that one. This is another Revolution palette. This is the Shook palette, which I remember really enjoying when I first had it. Right. The one thing I find slightly annoying about this is that the size of these pens, they're tiny. You can barely get your brush in them. However, I did actually really enjoy the quality of this palette, and I feel like I'm going to keep it. I don't know if they still make it. I'd say it's a mostly neutral palette with a few sort of pops of colour in it. But, yeah, the layout isn't my favourite, but I do like the actual eyeshadows, so I think I am going to keep that one, because I do quite like the quality of the eyeshadows. Okay, next, this is from Makeup Obsession. They don't make this anymore. I don't actually remember what it's called. It looks like this. The reason why this got discontinued is absolutely hilarious. It's because people didn't like the shade names. They thought it was like inappropriate. Because you got things like safe word and MILF and foreplay and sugar daddy and provocative. Or we've also got full package, get freaky, home wrecker, housewife. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I do get like the names are a little bit risque, but like that's nothing new in makeup, is it? I think they were sort of arguing that like it was targeted at kids, which I didn't. Was it? Is it? I don't feel like it is. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a silly reason to discontinue it, really. First thing, I love the marble packaging. I think that's super cool. Obviously, if I use this, I can't recommend it to anyone because you can't get it anywhere anymore. I'm just going to give things a swatch. That gold's really pretty. Ooh. Okay, some of these shimmers are really nice and others are sort of meh. I can't decide whether to keep this now. Again, I'm putting that in the I've not decided yet pile. Next we've got Elf Retro Paradise. I think this was a limited edition one. I don't think you can get this anymore. Again, it has got some really nice shimmers in it, but overall the colour story is a bit kind of random, though those shimmers are pretty. I think I might declutter this one. I feel like someone I know might want this and will probably use it more than me. Beauty Bay Pastels palette. This is quite good for just sort of like diffusing colours out. And I do like a pastel-y look from time to time, so I'm definitely going to keep that. You can't really use it on its own, but it's good to just use in conjunction with other things. Urban Decay Moon Dust. This is another palette I've had for years and I've not reached for it in a very long time, but I definitely want to. Yeah, they definitely look quite pretty, just giving them a swatch right now. They're definitely quite sparkly. Some of these look super pretty. Yes, I definitely need to use this pretty soon. I'm keeping that. I also like the jazzy packaging. This is, I've had this for years. I think they might have reformulated this since. I feel like I've seen like a different version of it. This is a palette from Barry M. It's the Shipwrecked Baked Matte Metallic Eyeshadow Palette. I'm pretty sure it's not made. I'm pretty sure they don't make this anymore. I think it is discontinued. I do quite like the colour story, and I do remember enjoying this palette, and it has got some very pretty shimmers in it. The shimmers have a really nice texture. They're very like velvety. Ooh, some of these shimmers are lovely. I kind of thought I'd get rid of this now, but I'm swatching some of the shimmers and they seem really pretty. Obviously I can't like use it a lot or like on my channel and recommend people buy it because it was limited edition. I don't know if it was limited edition actually. All I know is that I'm pretty sure they don't make it anymore, but I am quite enjoying these shimmers. I'm putting that in there, I've not decided pile. We've got the Saharan palette from Juvia's Place. I think this is my last Juvia's Place one. I've had this a very long time. Hit a pan on a few of the shades. It is quite a neutral palette. Ooh, that gold. Ooh, so soft. I do like it when shimmers are like really soft. I'm going to keep that one because I do quite like it. Nikki Tutorials Beauty Bay palette. I remember having very mixed experiences with this, and then I tried it with a wet base and I got way better results. Yeah, I definitely felt like I got a way better performance once I switched to a wet base, especially with the mattes. The only thing about this palette is, again, it's got that really mushy textured shimmer, which isn't my favourite because I do find that it tends to kind of separate a bit. But saying that, these shimmers are super pigmented and pretty. Okay, they may be slightly mushy, but they are incredibly pigmented and beautiful. I'm going to have to keep that just because those shimmers I've swatched are like so pigmented and blinding. And I definitely got a way better performance on the mattes with a wet base. Yeah, I'm going to keep this guy. Quite like the packaging as well, it's quite cool. I've got a L'Oreal palette. This is the I Go Wild Mega palette, and I really like this. Is a really nice neutral palette. The mattes are lovely, the shimmers are lovely. I quite like the really compact layout of it where all the shades sort of connect into each other. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people might not like that, but I quite like it. It's a really pretty palette and I really like it, and it's super cute, so I'm keeping it. And not as expensive as some of the other palettes I have here. This is another very affordable palette. It's the Lottie London X2 Lee Living My Best Life palette. I know this is quite popular and I really enjoyed it too. Let's just give, ooh again, they have that nice soft texture, the shimmers. Yes, and I remember the mattes being really good too. Ooh, that's a nice blue. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. It's a really good affordable palette. I'm pretty sure they still make it. I'll have to confirm that. But it is a nice neutral with a pop of colour kind of palette that's, I think it's about like £8 or something, so it's quite inexpensive. This is another very inexpensive palette. This is from the brand You Can Be, which is like a cheap brand you can get off of like Amazon, AliExpress, those sort of websites. However, it's goddamn amazing quality. The mattes are really good. The shimmers are beautiful. My hand is just covered in eyeshadow because I'm just swatching everything. Ooh. Oh my god, that rose gold. They're a little bit chunky, the shimmers, but they are super pigmented. And the mattes are amazing, and you've got a really good like sort of transition with the mattes. I really enjoyed this palette, and it was like £6 or something. It's so good. Next, this is from the brand LOV. This is the Dare to Dare palette, and I really enjoyed this palette. It's quite heavy with the shimmers, but there are mattes in it too. The mattes are more neutral. The shimmers are quite glam neutral as well, but there's a few like pops of colour of like blues and like a bright gold. And that blue and bright gold are super vibrant. I really enjoyed this palette. I thought it was great. So I'm keeping it. It's a nice glam palette. I'm gonna declutter this one. This is the Cameo X Revolution palette. I do think it's got quite a lot of these sort of foiled shades, which are quite pretty to be fair. Some are really nice. Yeah, like that gold is actually really pretty. But again, because they're quite mushy, they are gonna separate a bit. But they are pigmented. But the mattes I just thought were a bit like average quality really, but I think I am gonna declutter that. But some of those foiled shades are quite pretty though, I will say. Like that silvery shade is quite nice. Okay, Too Faced Natural Eyes. This palette is probably like over 5 years old. One of my like first sort of high-end eyeshadow palettes. Again, I think I got this as a gift, and they have obviously, this has been like reformulated, rebranded since I bought it like 5-6 years ago. I say brought it, it was a present. And again, I feel like I've got all this. This is one of the things that I feel like I might just keep it because of nostalgia. It's also just a cute little neutral palette with quite pretty shimmers and quite pretty mattes. I'm keeping this mostly for nostalgia, but it is a cute little palette, and I think I need to use that more for like night out looks because it's just like a really nice neutral palette. Okay, let's go back to the ones that I couldn't decide on. I think I might declutter the Patricia Bright one just because obviously a lot of the palettes I've kept have got rainbow mattes in them, so I don't really need to keep this. I didn't dislike it though. I did think the mattes in it were pretty good quality. It's just I don't need to keep it, and the packaging is annoying me because it's a bit broken. Again, the Tammy one, I feel like again I've got these sort of shades in other palettes that I've kept, and I feel like I might just get rid of it. And again, I think I might get rid of this one too because again I've got these shades in other palettes. It's discontinued, so I can't recommend it to anyone. A similar thing with this Barry M one, it's discontinued, I can't recommend it to anyone, but it has got some really pretty shimmers in it. Okay, because I got rid of the other three, I'm gonna hold on to this one. I'll probably try and use it more like in my own time as opposed to like in videos. Okay, I think that's it then. I think we've done the eyeshadow palette, so I've gotten rid of like about... So I've gotten rid of 12 palettes, which is not too bad. Do you want to come up here? Come on, come say hi to the camera. Come on. There she is. Sorry, Tiger, I've got eyeshadow on my hands. You're not allowed in here, are you? But I thought I'd let you in. Come back here, you. Come on. This is Tiger. The best cat in the world. Come on, say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Trying not to get eyeshadow on you. Oh, it's a wee lady. It's a wee lady. Okay, so obviously I still have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, but I have downsized it a bit. So I'm gonna put these all back in their designated area and then show you what that looks like. So see you in a bit. Okay, so I put all of the eyeshadow palettes back up here. They all pretty much fit. I have like these eyeshadow holders. I've got 3 of them, but it doesn't fit all of the palettes, so the rest of them are just standing up straight here. But I feel like they're all pretty easily accessible over here, and I'm happy with this. I feel like obviously I've still got loads of palettes, got plenty to choose from when I'm doing my makeup, but it's definitely a little bit more downsized than it was before. And again, there were a few palettes that I feel like I still need to kind of retry. And I might get rid of a few more maybe after that, but I'm not sure about that yet. But yes, I'm happy with them all up here. I did mention in the previous video that I might go through this stuff as well, but honestly I feel like I'm probably just gonna keep the majority of it anyway, and I kind of just can't be bothered, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna finish the video there. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.